Since the return of multi-party politics in Kenya in 1991, there is a political party that has dominated Kenyan politics for the past 21 years, and that is the Orange Democratic Movement, popularly known as ODM. Since its founding in 2005, the party has given rise to individuals who have shaped or are currently shaping Kenyan politics. That includes people like the late Raila Odinga, who was the founding member and party leader for 20 years, William Ruto, who is the current president, James Aggrey Bob Orengo, governor of Siaya, Babu Owino, MP of Embakasi East constituency, Edwin Sifuna, senator of Nairobi, Hassan Ali Joho, former governor of Mombasa and the current minister of mining, Junet Mohammed, MP Suna East constituency, just to mention a few. Since the passing of its founder in October of last year, a lot of strife has been happening within the party. This is mainly because of a dispute of whether the party should support the re-election bid of President Ruto in the next general election, that is 18 months away. This dispute has broken the party into two, those who are for and those who aren't. And the question on everyone's mind is this the end of ODM? ODM is a party started as a movement in 2005 that was against a constitutional referendum that wanted to give sweeping powers to the president. The No movement was spearheaded by Raila Odinga, who by then was a minister in the NARC coalition government that had brought Moi Kibaki into power 3 years ago, after they had ended the 24-year authoritarian rule of President Moi. Before the NARC coalition came into power, as the main part of their Memorandum of Understanding, the coalition had agreed upon the creation of a new constitution that would create a parliamentary system, with a stronger prime minister and a weakened presidency. The aim was to reduce executive power previously concentrated in the presidency. The prime minister position was meant for Raila Odinga, who had played a key role in Kibaki's victory. During the drafting process, President Kibaki betrayed the agreement. He proposed a constitution that gave more powers to the president, while excluding the position of prime minister. By the time the country was going to vote in the referendum, the coalition was divided into two. Those who were for, led by Kibaki, who used a banana as a yes symbol, and those who were against, led by Raila, who used an orange as a no symbol. After intensive campaigns that relied on tribal blocks, Kibaki faced a humiliating defeat, losing to the no vote by a margin of approximately 1 million votes. In response, Kibaki went berserk on his entire cabinet, firing all his ministers and assistant ministers. After Raila and his allies were out of the job, they united to form a party that will challenge Kibaki in the upcoming 2007 general election. Raila's allies included Najib Balala, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Joseph Nyaga, and later William Ruto. The coalition initially wanted to use ODM as the party name, but found out that Mugambi Imanyara, a city lawyer, had already registered the name ODM as a party, forcing them to use the name ODM Kenya instead. By mid-August 2007, the coalition proved unstable. This was because of an internal rivalry between Kalonzo and Raila over whom will be the party's presidential flag bearer. Raila, Mudavadi, Ruto, Nyaga and Balala later defected from ODM Kenya and took over the ODM party registered by Mugambi Imanyara, while Kalonzo and his supporters remained in the original ODM Kenya. On September 1, 2007, Raila was announced as the presidential flag bearer of ODM after he defeated Ruto, Mudavadi, Nyaga and Balala at the party primaries. The 2007 general election was the first time the Orange Democratic Movement participated as a political party to field candidates for elective positions. Because the 2007 campaign centered around tribalism, ODM had dominion in 6 of the 8 provinces. This was because voters voted for their tribal kingpins. ODM was dominant in Nyanza because of Raila. It was also dominant in Rift Valley because of Ruto. It was dominant in Western because of Mudavadi. It was also dominant in the coast because of Najib. It was dominant in Northeastern because of Duale. The provinces of Nairobi and Eastern were equally shared between ODM PNU and ODM Kenya because of ethnic pluralism. The only province that ODM was weak in was in Central Province, because it was Kibaki's home turf. After the tallying at the constituency level was completed, ODM became the majority party in the National Assembly, securing 99 seats out of the 210. Kibaki's PNU followed with 43 seats. Unfortunately, ODM was unable to take the presidency because the state-controlled Electoral Commission rigged the presidential vote in favor of Kibaki. What then followed was an outbreak of tribal violence across the country that resulted in the death of more than 1,000 people and the displacement of more than 500,000 citizens. In 2008, after intense mediation by the African Union, Raila's ODM and Kibaki's PNU reconciled by forming the Grand Coalition Government, where Kibaki retained the presidency, while Raila took the newly created position of Prime Minister. In the 2013 general election, ODM once again fronted Raila for the presidency. The party entered a coalition with Ford Kenya of Moses Wetangula and Wiper of Kalonzo Musyoka to support Raila as the presidential candidate, and Kalonzo as his running mate. This time, Raila was going against Uhuru Kenyatta of TNA, who partnered with a familiar opponent, William Ruto, who had defected from ODM to create his URP party. After the voting took place, ODM once again dominated the National Assembly, securing 96 seats out of the 350. Uhuru's TNA followed with 88 seats. Under the new 2010 constitution, devolution was introduced to bring government closer to the people. This led to the abolishment of the provinces and the creation of 47 county governments, together with the new body of the Senate, whose job is to oversight the counties. Out of the 47 counties, ODM won governorship in 16 of them, with the rest being divided between the other parties. In the Senate, ODM tied with TNA, securing 17 seats each. But because of the tribal coalitions, ODM was on the losing side in both houses. This made it impossible for the party to stop bills that did not favor the party's interests. For the presidency, Raila accepted defeat after losing to Uhuru Kenyatta. In the 2017 general election, the main contenders for the top seat were still the same two men. The only difference was that Uhuru and Ruto had merged their two parties to create the Jubilee Party. Jubilee turned out victorious as the ruling party and the majority party in both houses and in the counties. Raila then challenged Uhuru's victory in the Supreme Court. The court ruled in favor of Raila, annulling Uhuru's victory. Before the repeat presidential election, Raila decided to boycott the election, citing that the election would once again be rigged because his demands of electoral reforms weren't implemented. After Uhuru won the repeat election and was sworn in for his second and final term in office, Raila staged a swear-in ceremony the following year as the people's president. This raised tensions within the country and raised fears about the repeat of the 2007-2008 post-election violence. In March of 2018, the two leaders met to reconcile their differences that helped to bring calm within the country. The 2022 general election was considered as Raila's last attempt to win the presidency, since he was now getting old. His main opponent was William Ruto, who had fallen out with Uhuru because of the 2018 handshake. Despite having the backing of a sitting president, Raila once again failed to win the presidency. Ruto's UDA dominated the counties and in both houses. In 2024, a series of nationwide protests led by Gen Zs broke out across the country because of a finance bill that wanted to raise the already high cost of living. The protest put much of the ruling class in panic. This was because of their fear of losing power that would ultimately make them lose their main source of livelihood, which is corruption. Ruto's government eventually bowed to the pressure. He refused to sign the bill into law. That gradually lowered the tension. Afterwards, President Ruto dismissed his original cabinet and announced a plan for a more inclusive administration that would address the issues raised during the protests. In July, he unveiled a first batch of cabinet nominees that included members from the ODM. Ruto's UDA and Raila's ODM formalized the broad-based government through the signing of an MOU on March 7, 2025.
Of applause.
We are telling them we are moving forward as one united Kenya.
As time progressed, a lot of strife started to happen within the ODM party. This was mainly because of the divided opinion among its members on whether the party should support Ruto's government or remain critical and be steadfast on the party's goal for 2027. This divided the party into two, those who are pro-Ruto and those who aren't. Pro-Ruto members are people like Oburu Odinga, Gladys Wanga, Junet Mohammed, John Badi, Peter Kaluma, Hassan Joho, Jalango, and others. Anti-Ruto members are people like Sifuna, Babu Owino, James Orengo, Winnie Odinga, Caleb Amisi, Richard Onyonka, and others. Before the passing of the party leader, his stance was that he was firmly aligned with President Ruto at least until the 2027 general election. After the passing of Raila Odinga, his elder brother Oburu Odinga was announced as the new party leader. Since then, the ODM party has been left more divided than ever, especially with the recent drama where the pro-Ruto section led by Oburu declared that Edwin Sifuna, who has been the party secretary general since 2018, was ousted by the party's National Executive Committee, replacing him with Catherine Omanyo. As it stands, Sifuna maintains that he remains the validly elected Secretary General, and stated in a press conference on February 12 that the reason as to why he is being persecuted is his refusal to support Ruto's government.
Indeed, as far as internal differences in opinion go, my only cry is that I have refused and I oppose any plans and schemes within the party to support President William Ruto's re-election, because I have held and continue to hold the firm position that this country cannot afford another 5 years of this expensive, divisive, incompetent and disastrous Ruto misadventure.
See, the reason as to why ODM is breaking is because the dispute is revolving around one name, and that is William Ruto. Since independence, the country has witnessed the rise and fall of political parties. The first one is KANU, that ruled the country for nearly 40 years, until its electoral defeat in 2002, when Moi decided to support a young Uhuru Kenyatta, that led to the defection of 99% of its members. Today, KANU is a shell of its past, holding only 6 seats in the National Assembly and 0 seats in both the Senate and in the governorship position. The other one is Jubilee, that is led by former President Uhuru Kenyatta. It was dominant during his second term until he fell out with William Ruto by the time 2022 was approaching. Now it only has 32 seats in elective positions. For 20 years, Raila built ODM through blood, sweat and tear gas, and now his brother is selling it all for peanuts. In less than 2 months after his death,